tell me a little bit about yourself? Why do you love Santa Claus? How long have you lived here, and what kind of has kept you rooted in the area?
I was born in Tell City, and a long time ago. And so I've always been in southern Indiana. And then we actually moved around a little bit. We lived in college housing at ISU in Terre Haute. But then we came back and we lived in Ferdinand and Dale and all of the areas that I still live in, my framework. So my husband was from St. Mildred, which is also a Spencer County town, and I was living in Ferdinand at the time when we met, and then when we got married, we moved to Spencer County. And Santa Claus used to be a very unaffordable area to live, but now all the real people live there, and when we moved there, I felt like it was just beautiful and peaceful. The kind of neighborhood you wanted your kids to grow up in. It's nature in a small community. And so that's the perk of living there.
That's awesome. That actually sounds amazing. I would love to live
Yeah,
there.
it's nice.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the coal to diesel plant. You were instrumental in the campaign to stop the coal to diesel plant here in Dale. That plant would have needed to access water from Santa Claus. Can you speak about your work to stop Riverview Energy from accessing water in Santa Claus?
Yes. First of all, there were some real positives about Santa Claus signing some kind of paperwork that would allow a water study, to bring water from Santa Claus to the Dale area. It would have helped us because then we could have known how our access flows. We have a large water, actually we have several wells, we have water to share. We share it already with other communities. But, so there's a big positive to that. You know, we would have gotten this water study. We would have gotten it done. And much of my board saw that. What I saw was, I live in a beautiful place with rolling hills. And I can walk along the road. We have a major theme park. Why would we want to bring a refinery to this area? Why? To me, it was a no-brainer. The other thing was, I truly believe, give an inch, take a mile. And I thought, if that water system was something that we allowed to start, then they could run with it. And they didn't have a penny in the game.
How do you think the coal to diesel plant would have impacted the community if it were to have been?
You know, I think the people around here don't really realize it, because coal is a big deal in this area. We have a lot of people who are going to lose employment because the coal industry is going to, thin down, if not, stop in some areas. But first thing, you would come off the interstate, the Rolling Hill Interstate, I-64, and the first thing you would see when you got to Dale would be a refinery. Can you imagine in this rolling hill vista where we have tourism and we have a state and a national park both devoted to the boyhood of Lincoln, and we have a theme park that treats 1 million guests a year, which, why would we want that to be the first thing you see? And that's one of the interstates that come off. The other problem would be the pollution from that in different winds would run into Dubois County, which is north. It would run toward Owensboro, which is south. It would run toward Santa Claus, and it would run up the interstate, not all the way to Louisville, but into Perry County. So I believe that our landscape, and by landscape I mean even bigger than just what you see, would have immensely changed because of that coal to diesel plant.
1000%. What do you think the legacy of that fight that you won is going to mean for the community in the future?
I think that we we sent a message, and that was the number one most important thing, was we are not going to allow something that has such detriment to what we already have to come into this area and mess it up. I think the other message is there are people who will stand up, and hallelujah to that.
They'll stick their necks out for you.
Stick their necks out. Exactly.
Let's go a little broader away from the coal to diesel plant.
Okay.
So just in general, Southwest Indiana has a very high concentration of power plants in the region. Have you seen just in general this presence affect your daily life and your community, and how has that changed over time from your beginnings to where you are now?
Right. When I was a little girl and we lived in Dale, Indiana, it seemed that you didn't hear about sickness. Now, I was a little girl, but you didn't hear about cancer as much. We've got a lot of type 1 diabetic students. Like all of a sudden they'll be diabetic, and perhaps that's the food, but I think the chemistry of the world, the chemistry of our Spencer County world has changed. My dad, who was an educator, got lymphoma, B cell, whatever, cancer. We don't know. The only explanation is we lived right here. We lived right here. And this whole area, I don't think it feels dirty, but to know the pollutants that are in our air, and to be a teacher for 32 years and have touched the lives of 3,000 kids scares me to death. It scares me.
I agree. Well, that gave me chills, honestly.
I know, it does me too.
So everything you've just said obviously plays a background in why you are involved with SWCL. But could you speak a little bit more in depth about why you got involved with SWCL and how it's kind of impacted your life, and if you've noticed the community kind of shift to notice the work that SWCL has been doing? Okay,
so SWCL started before me, way before me, and when they found out I was against the coal to diesel, we just like magnetized to each other, and they're my people. I think one of the number one benefits of that group, we have lots of groups. Let me go backward. We have Optimists, who provide many things for children around the area. We have a Kiwanis Club. This is like Spencer County Nest in this area. We have CASA, that helps kiddos who have to go to court and be represented. We have so many groups, but we've not had a group who has profoundly changed the landscape of a situation like this one has. To see a group of people be vested in this area so much that they will talk to governmental officials, that they will go places and they will study and they will get backing from other sources that have no idea about Southern Indiana. Why would half of these people know about Southern Indiana? And for that group to do what they did is phenomenal. I would not be nearly as intelligent about the CDT plan if it hadn't been for that group of people. They are astronomical, and the difference they've made is they have made a community feel to what's right for the community.
All right, we've spoken briefly about your time on the town council, but drawing from that, what do you think you could say about the relationship between town governments and power plants?
Money's a big deal when you're a little town. I mean, it's a huge deal. They also see jobs. This was not going to offer that many jobs, even though people were way excited about it. But they see jobs because you graduate from our schools, there isn't a lot to do, so you go somewhere else, and we want you to come back and be with us. So I think the whole thing is small towns are easily swayed to buy into a business because they need it. They need it. They need it for finances, they need it for attention, and they need it for jobs. So regardless of what you are, they're going to want you. So to have a group that says, but there's this problem. It changes the way the town has to look at it. And that's the relationships between, like you said, coal and towns. It's a good relationship because it's jobs, it's business. And this group, Circle, has worked together to make sure they don't, nah, not so good.
How would you like to see Dale move forward in the future, and what is next for you?
Good. I want you to know that as a teacher and a realtor, you get to see data. And our school systems in Spencer County, in the area of Dale and Santa Claus, where I taught, but in Spencer County, are phenomenal. We are some of the best schools in the state of Indiana, which is amazing because we're in a part of Indiana people really don't even know exists because we're below I-64, or we're below Bloomington by 2.5 hours. So I would really like to see us offer housing to regular people, build up some things that are attractive, get some more restaurant facilities. You know, it's hard to do a restaurant when you have a population that comes in, a million people come in between May and September. And then you've got the rest of the year. So that's kind of difficult. I would love to see us do some shell buildings for things like grocery supplies. We have one in Dale that has been very successful, an Amazon outpost. Wouldn't that be awesome? These are not polluters. These are things, and gosh knows, the people around me and me, we do Amazon. So any of the things that would make our community still clean, still beautiful, and offer more to our people, that would be what I hope for the future of this area.